Good evening and welcome to the Tornado Shelter in Anoka, Minnesota, home of the Anoka Tornadoes. As the #1 seed in this section, the Tornado girls take on the Duluth East team with just a few wins. I'm Joe Rulin, joined by Chris Carpenter for tonight's QCTV sports presentation. And Chris, a game of kind of two stories with these two teams in the regular season anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, this is my favorite time of year. I'm a big basketball guy, and basketball playoffs, best time of year for me. And as you say, both these teams, one team had a fantastic season in Anoka, finishing 19-7 overall. Very solid in the Northwest Urban North as well. Duluth East, 3-23 on the year. Not a very good season, but as they say, the one season's over, the second season starts tonight.
Absolutely. There's nothing like that adrenaline when it comes time for playoffs. Sometimes anxiety goes up, IQ goes down, the outside shots don't fall. I know, for instance, for Anoka, their last game of the year was against Totino Grace. Torgerson had trouble getting going, the leading scorer, or second leading scorer on this team. But the idea is that Slater stepped up and dropped in 14 points in the first half. That's an advantage that I believe Anoka has, is they have more weapons to go to versus Duluth East.
Yeah, absolutely, Joe. And another thing, too, like you say, the butterflies come up a little bit sometime this time of year. You got to make sure that you play your hardest and don't really give it away too easily. You know that the team that you're playing tonight hadn't had a good year, but don't take them lightly.
Absolutely.
And I think we're here about to do a national anthem. And I know you had a chance to talk to Anoka High School basketball coach Scott Antle beforehand here, and I think we'll take a look right now.
We're here with the head coach Scott Antle of the Anoka Tornadoes girls basketball team. #1 seed in the section. And Scott, congratulations on your season.
Thank you.
Big key here is, what was a surprise? What jumped out at you this year about your squad or any particular players?
Well, I think the girls bought into our program this year. We put in a whole new offense. We got new coaches, and told our girls at the beginning of the season, our team motto is family this year. So we're all one big family, that they do everything together and they have to buy into it all together.
You're playing a Duluth East team that had kind of a struggling season, a lot of underclassmen. What do you expect from them tonight?
Well, in sections we expect a lot. Everybody's 0-0. Anybody can do anything. They have nothing to lose. So I expect them to bring everything that they have.
What kind of a mindset did the girls have, and did you give them tonight? Hey, celebrate the season, great regular season. We're rewarded #1 seed.
Yep.
Now what's the mindset for sectionals?
Well, what we tell the girls, our mindset is one game at a time. Don't look ahead. Take care of business the first night, and then we'll worry about everything after that.
Coach, good luck this season, and good luck the rest of the way through sectionals.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Joe Rulin with head coach Scott Antle. Well, there you got the words of wisdom coming from Coach Scott. A very, very impressive season. In fact, so well it earned them a #1 seed in this section. The one thing that I really enjoyed watching this year is the mix-up in terms of how they blended in a variety of defenses, and that's something that this Duluth East starting lineup is going to have to take a good look at.
Yeah, the lineup for the Greyhounds tonight: Ashley Williams at guard, Jada Olson at guard as well, Annie Rykoff at guard. They start 3 guards and 2 forwards. Aaron Treichow, the junior, at forward, and Maya Marple, the other junior.
You got it, and really it's been between Ashley Williams and Tycro, the Aaron number 23, as the two that have really kind of shared the leading in points this year, game to game on the basis, and they're led by head coach Joaquin Harris in his 4th season. Meanwhile, for Anoka, you've got quite the scoring punch. You have Naomi Torgerson. She's in double figures, almost 16 a game. Brittany Bongart's almost a double-double.
Yeah, Brittany Bongart's the center. The junior center had a great season, 16.3 points per game, 7.3 rebounds per game. Going to be tough in the middle. Merle Josephson starting at the guard as well. Miranda Phipps, who also had a quietly pretty darn good year. She's going to be out of forward. And Abby Slater grabs a lot of rebounds. Nice player as well. So a very good lineup for the Tornadoes tonight.
You mentioned it earlier, just before the national anthem, but Abby Slater was kind of a key player in the first half in their win over Totino Grace just last week. In fact, you'll get some video here right on cue with Slater. She had 14 points in the first half. In fact, she had all but about 4 points for Anoka in that first half. they couldn't find the rhythm in their shooting. Tino Grace did a great job, but Slater operated from all avenues. As you can see in the lane, she popped, dropped, and shot. She hit one from a couple from three. Key rebounds, and meanwhile she picked up the pace until you saw Torgerson in the second half. She ended that game with 12 points, all in the second half, and I really think that's a great benefit here for this Tornado team because 3-4 players can carry.
Absolutely. It's nice to have that option, Joe. When you're out there and some of your players that you've leaned on all season are having a tough time, other people stepping up, and make no mistake, Abby Slater's been great this season. She scored 8.8 points a game, but she really did a lot of other things too. She can shoot the three-pointer a little bit. She gets to the line, grab a few rebounds. She's a good player. It's nice to see her step up, when somebody else, one of the other players like Torgerson or somebody else isn't having a good game. It's nice to see someone else contribute like that.
Absolutely. As both teams have been announced, we're ready to start the section quarterfinal. The winner of this game will play Friday. They will play Friday up in North Branch, so just one home game. And I believe Andover Huskies are also playing at home tonight. They finished as the number 2 seed in this section. And I believe they're hosting Cambridge Isanti. But nonetheless, last home game for any team in this section. The rest go to North Branch, and there you get a look at the brackets. Thank you to the crew and the van. Also with that update, Anoka, the number 1 seed. Duluth East, number 8, impressive season. Blaine, the number 3 seed, and Andover, the number 2 seed. Andover won the tiebreak on that, hence the number 2 seed. Coon Rapids, a disappointing season as a 6th seed. Then you have Forest Lake and St. Francis. That's the team. The winner of that game is who Anoka will be playing next if they can pull this one out.
Yeah, so it's going to be an exciting section. Every year, this time of year, it's like that, and I think we can expect that this time around as well.
Getting ready here to take the tip. Both teams are now at center court. Joaquim Harris, the head coach of Duluth East, has said, you know what, we are going to mix it up. And this year, the whole year, we had to try to modify to fit the team we were playing against. And they have tons of underclassmen. So they're going to get a chance to build on that for next year. Ready to take the jump here will be Bongarts. Meanwhile, number 23, Tycro. And it is the Tornadoes who come away with that tip. And there's Torgerson bringing it up at the high post. Looks for a high-low delivery, deflected out of bounds. And I think there was some confusion. It was deflected, but they gave it to Duluth East.
Anoka coming out in some full court pressure here off that turnover.
Good call, Chris, because you'll see them go through. They will go through maybe that 1-3, 1-3/4 trap, full court, man-to-man, 2-3. So I enjoy what Coach Scott does in terms of mixing up the defenses. Now's the time of the year where all of that work comes into play. Down low along the baseline, he'll dribble back out, top of the key, now driving the lane. As I mentioned, that's Ashley Williams, number 1. She shared the scoring leading duties with number 23, Tycro. It's knocked out of her leg, and possession goes back to Anoka. No score just yet. Just underway a few seconds into this quarterfinal section matchup.
Interesting to see how Torgerson does tonight, coming off of that rough game last game.
From the side, Slater, nothing but net. Boom time for Slater. A baseline from beyond 3 and puts the Tornadoes up 3-0. Full court pressure. They're going to bring it early and often. Back to Slater. High wing location, cross court down to the baseline. Torgerson drops it off to Bongarts. Now kicks it out just beyond the elbow. Back out to Slater. Sets up to Josephson. Looks deep to Torgerson. Trying to look at the defense and read it. Driving the lane and scoring. Putting it down for Anoka. Number 13 is Phipps.
Nice play by Phipps there. Here they are right back at it, playing hard defense. Tornadoes coming out strong.
Good deflection, good play, but looking to get across the midcourt line, and 10 seconds is the call.
You know, if they weren't going to call 10 seconds there, there might have been a travel as well. So the defensive pressure, Duluth East on the road right now. It looks like it's getting to them. It's very effective pressure right now by the Tornadoes.
Duluth East again coming into this game as one of the lower seeds, the number 8 seed in a record of 3-23 on the season. Deflected there, taken away. Back will come the Hounds. Bringing it up, bringing it top of the 3-point. Now down to the baseline. So look as Williams gets it off to the free throw line. Deflected, stolen, now controlled by Torgerson. She'll bring it in. This goes all the way, and 2 more off the backboard. And Anoka jumps out to a 7-0 lead. Timeout Duluth East.
Yeah, smart timeout there, I think. Torgerson, she pretty much had an open lane to the hole. Jada Olsen, number 12, was down on the key, but she didn't really make an effort to try to stop Torgerson. It was almost an uncontested layup.
I sure like this start, purely just based on putting the pressure to him. There you could see her capitalize and putting away the layup. Even that was a chore last game. This defense sometimes can create that pressure, can create the best offense, Chris.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think Scott Ansel, he's got it right tonight. This is what you do when you're taking on a team that, let's face it, is inferior to your team. You come out, you play this type of defensive pressure, you get these people to turn it over, and they're doing just that.
A lot of underclassmen bringing that ball up as well. That doesn't help the situation. Finally, they get through the pressure and set up their offense. Against the zone defense right now. Aaron pass there, unforced error, and she steps out of bounds after trying to gain control. That was number 40, Annie Rykoff.
Yeah, it seemed like Rykoff there tried moving before the ball came to her, and I mean, that's what happens. Maybe some butterflies in the stomach. Tornadoes, that defense is just swarming right now.
Bring it up on a man-to-man. Defense change in quick strategies, taking the defense all the way to the lane and putting it off the backboard again is Torgerson. On the fast break, back the other way. They break the full court press, cannot capitalize like Torgerson did on the layup. Foul is called on Anoka. It's a 9-0 lead, Chris.
Yeah, Miranda Phipps over the back foul there. Nice to see Duluth East break the press, but kind of getting something going down 9-0 here. And they're going to have to continue to do that, breaking the press, it looks like, if they want to get back in this.
That was actually their first shot attempt here of the game. And the other few possessions they've been down, they've turned it over. She capitalizes on the front end of 2 free throws. Scoring there is Erin Tykro. As I mentioned, she came into this game averaging about 9 points a game. For this Duluth East team, she's got 2 in the books, 2 for 2 from the line.
I didn't find a lot of numbers under the Greyhounds team this season, but didn't look like they were able to score really that much. I don't think anybody had over 10 points a game.
As you look at that backcourt and the pressure by the Anoka team, a lot of underclassmen. They're going to try to capitalize that. Aaron pass misses that time as they try to connect with Phipps underneath.
Well, it was a good look by Torgerson, just kind of got the ball a little bit too far, but a good look nonetheless.
Jada Olsen brings it up now to Williams. Long lead pass off the hands and another turnover by number 40, Rykoff, for Duluth East.
That's a couple turnovers now by Rykoff. She's got to shake it off and get back into this.
They've had 4 possessions down and 3 turnovers.
And she just got beat.
Big nice setup pass, put away, and no look by Torgerson, and Phipps puts it away for her second basket here in the first half.
Yeah, Torgerson made that play happen there.
Oh, broke containment there, absolutely right, and good pressure. There you get a look at coaches in 2 different situations in this 4th season. You see Joaquim Harris was at Denfield before this, trying to get the underclassmen up and going. A tough 3-23 season. Head coach Scott Ansel, successful season. He's been able to get everyone on the same page, and I like what he's done defensively as well with this team. There is Slater at the wing now inside. They look high-low going to Bongarts. She's pestered by the defense and finally forces her to travel.
Yeah, she was kind of moving the feet back and forth. It looked like a travel to me. She's kind of looking around with the hands up, but yeah, I think they made the right call there.
Everyone reaching in. There it goes now. Court, another trap just before they get to midcourt, and a turnover. 4th turnover. And now another turnover coming back the other way to Anoka. Anoka turns it over. Duluth East side shot from the baseline, and a 2-point shot connects there for number 42, Maya Marple. First field goal of the game for this Duluth East team. Finding her way, Torgerson tries to dump it down low, and now at the time she gathers it in, she's trapped, taking it to the lane. Josephson hard to the lane, and she's whistled, and she'll get 2.
That was a good take, good hard take by Josephson there to get to the line. She'll shoot 2 now, 11-4 early on. A big shot here on the other end of the floor, too, by Maya Marple. They really needed that at this point. They needed the bucket to go down. Their first field goal of the game at 13:29 here. Well, 13 minutes.
11-4 now the lead for Anoka. Let's make that 12-4. A couple of substitutions now into the game. Coming in now is number 5, Michaela Zimmer. Is in, and is in addition to Emily Smith. Smith, a sophomore. And Josephson hits the second of her 2. More pressure by Anoka as Duluth East brings it up court. Long lead pass, and that's disrupted. Almost taken away on the turnover. It's almost like Duluth East didn't expect this type of trap because the players don't seem like they know exactly where they should line up to break it.
Yeah, they're not handling it very well at all, Joe, but plenty of game left.
Dropping it back. They usually like to drop it back into a zone if they're in that trap or full court pressure. Shot and a rebound to Anoka. Here comes Torgerson, full head of steam. She's going to take it to the bank. No, she'll dish it out to the side. Shot there by Bongard, misses. Back the other way. Odd man fast break here. Turn, fire, good steal that time by Smith. Pickpocketed. Ahead to Torgerson. She closes the deal off the backboard. 15-4 now the lead.
Well, she had a bad game last game, but tonight she's been looking good so far. 6 points so far for Torgerson.
Dangerous pass completed. She pulls up now. Duluth East for the jumper, and that's scored by Rykoff. She took a confident jumper just at that left elbow. Rykoff on the season average 6 a game. Gets her first 2. Cuts the Tornado lead back down to single digits. 3-point attempt, and that's off the front of the rim. Shot taken by Torgerson. Long rebound back to Duluth East. Olsen ahead. Back to Olsen now as Anoka looks to stay in that 2-3. Down underneath, shuffle, rotate, back to the wing, shot, 3, good! Good rotation, and Olsen puts down the 3-point shot.
Big shot by Jada Olsen there, and you're playing a 2-3 zone. You're going to be susceptible to 3-point shots. Nice shot there by Olsen.
I was trying to figure out the defense they were playing. It almost looked like a box and one there for a minute. On the turnover, they're going to call, maybe, no, they'll call a foul. A good feed by Torgerson inside to Josephson, and Josephson's drive was disrupted on a foul by Duluth East.
Yeah, Naomi Torgerson having a great night so far. I know it's still early in the game here, but she's already got 6 points, and she's made a couple of incredible passes there, and a nice play right there as well.
Some quick dishes out. You see some of the fans are also here to support. Everyone's a lot of adrenaline going for this Anoka Tornadoes girls basketball team and their success, but everyone also revved about the boys hockey game tomorrow, quarterfinal matchup against Eden Prairie.
Absolutely, that's going to be a big one, and good job by the Tornadoes to get to the state tournament. Good for them.
And the second of 2 by Josephson. She puts that down. 4 for 4 from the free throw line early on. Slater now returns for Anoka, and it will be Josephson taking the bench. They'll stay in kind of a 1-3-1 half-court trap. They've had some trouble, Duluth East, getting it across successfully without turning it over. That's a 3-point attempt by Marple. Long rebound into the lane taken. Shot missed that time by Leiter into the game now for Duluth East. Rebound comes back to Phipps. She's pickpocketed that time by Williams. Williams looks to feed down below. Errant pass, she had to try to make the save, Olsen, instead of just trying to catch it. Back the other way, Torgerson. Lead up pass, bounce pass up to Phipps. Phipps powers her way in. School closed, bank open.
6 points for Phipps, and you're absolutely right. She powered that one right in there.
19-9 lead, another turnover for Duluth East. Going in all the way to close the deal that time is Slater. She has 5, her 3-pointer and earlier, and that layup gives her 5 for the game, and Anoka a 21-9 lead. Another timeout by Duluth East. They're trying to stop the bleeding.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? I think you got to be very happy if you're Coach Ansel right now. The defensive pressure that you're putting on is working. You're falling back into the zone, and you're making turnovers on that as well. You're pushing the ball on offense, getting to the line. Everything's working right now for the Tornadoes.
Well, he's listening to every piece of advice I gave him before the game. I said, put pressure on him. You guys going to settle in, let them relax? And he's listened to my cues, Chris. But no, great strategy for Coach Scott, because that half-court trap has been successful. And they're certainly in a zone right now with this 12-point lead.
And that was the things I had. One of the things I had written down before the game too. If you're Duluth East coming in here, you had the terrible year. It was rotten year, but you were coming in here. Have confidence. Just, it's a new season. You got nothing to lose. On the opposite side, for Anoka, you can't play that game where you take them lightly, and they're certainly not doing that so far. Everybody's playing really well. I've been really surprised. I knew Torgerson was a great player, but I didn't realize the type of vision she had on the floor as well. She can shoot and she can pass.
Very explosive off the dribble. Correct. And now Duluth East, let's see if they have an answer to this half-court pressure. The 1-3-1 by Anoka. Olsen has it there, hops over top and gets it to Rykoff. Rykoff pulls up at the free throw line, takes a jumper there. Rebound goes to Emily Smith. Smith with Anoka brings it down, sets up the offense. She's pressured by Rykoff, drops it off to Torgerson. Torgerson tries to go baseline. She does not make the basket, but she does draw the foul.
Yeah, nice hard take there by Torgerson. She'll get to the line, like you say. The explosiveness off the dribble, you can see it right there. Just blew right past the defender to get to the line.
Very, very fast first step for Torgerson, a senior. She makes the first free throw. She also is a member, as of last game, a member of the Anoka Tornadoes 1,000 Point Club.
And that's very cool. That's an honor right there. I mean, it just also kind of a player you are, and great job for her, something to be proud of. Guys
here also from Anoka showing her support, although there's some hecklers from Duluth East as well. It's going to be tough for them to heckle much longer. They are down 22-9. Sloppy play continues. And I'll tell you, they do not have an answer for this half-court press yet.
No, they do not. And if you're Anoka, you keep the pressure on. And I'm not really sure what the Greyhounds are going to do at this point. You keep on trying to get to the middle of the lane and maybe kick out for an open look.
Bongartz checks back in. Torgerson will take a seat, get some air. Errant pass picked up and steps on the baseline, ready to hit an outlaw pass was Phipps.
Phipps knew it. She knew it. That's 1 foot on the line there.
I was watching the rotation of the last game and this game with Coach Scott Antle, and kind of like it. There you see it, right? He lets them kind of get that first win, that initial win, then brings them out, makes an adjustment, maybe 1 or 2 at a time, then puts them back in 2-3 minutes. Very strategic. I enjoy watching that approach. Into the lane, kicks it back out. Now goes back down to the lane. Nice pass. And closing it with a shot, putting it up is Libby Johnson.
And that's exactly what you have to do if you're Duluth. Good ball reversal. You got to get it inside and then convert when you get those chances.
2-3 defense, a lot of trapping, and that trapping has been a problem so far for Bongard. She's been called for a couple of travels.
Yeah, that's that one there. I don't know if I saw it, but good call by the ref apparently. And they're playing good defense on her, and she's having a rough night so far, and one of their leading scorers.
They just collapsed on her the last couple of times she's had possession of the ball on that 2-3. Rykoff there, now over to Olsen. Jada Olsen over to Williams. Down low, they're going to go to the well one more time. Does not connect, but does draw that foul. Good entry pass in, good rotation around, like you said last time, Chris, around the perimeter, and a bounce pass in. That'll put Libby Johnson at the line, the senior center.
Yeah, you need to try to get it inside if you can. As she misses the first free throw, but that's how you kind of break this zone. And it kind of is almost like a rotating 2-3 zone. I'm not entirely sure if it is a 2-3 zone or not, but the zone that they're playing, the girls on Anoka are really rotating well. So you're going to have good ball reversal and be able to get it inside if you're the Greyhounds.
Zimmer grabs the towel and missed the second free throw there. for Duluth East. Couldn't capitalize on either. Back in and in for the first time. It's also right now number 30 faced Lundquist. And there's a shot and one. Beautiful execution.
There's Brittany Bongertz. We know she's a solid player for this team. Been good all year, putting up a lot of points, 16.3 points per game. Her first bucket of the night. She can also rebound the heck out of the ball, too. Had a really good year for the Tornadoes.
I don't think she starts to get warmed up unless she's banging a few bodies around until like maybe midway through that first half. Getting position, footing, and everything else. Now she starts to get into that zone. That helps Anoka open up a 14-point lead here. 9 minutes to go, first half. Welcome to this QCTV sports presentation. Joe Rulin joined by Chris Carpenter. It's the quarterfinal section play, girls high school basketball. Duluth East looking underneath. Anoka goes back to that man-to-man. Now taking it to the lane as Olsen doesn't make it. Deflected off of Anoka. It'll stay in possession of Duluth East.
Yeah, it's Brittany Bongertz down there on defense as well. She able to alter that shot.
Pass in, shot, beautiful looking shot. 3-point attempt by Williams, just off the back of the rim, controlled by Bongertz. Smith now tries to set it up, back to Bongertz at the right elbow. Dribbles to get away, cross-court pass to Slater. She was eyeing up a three, now to Phipps. Phipps looks down underneath. Now back again at the elbow to Bongertz. Bongertz wants to feed it to Slater. It's deflected off the hands of a defender from Duluth East, and Anoka will maintain possession.
Yeah, Bongertz, she's playing a lot at the top of the free throw line here on offense. I think maybe time to get her down low a little bit more. They're really irritating her, for lack of a better word, right around there at the free throw line. That looked like she might have just thrown it out of bounds, but she got lucky and maybe somebody took it out.
Off the inbound, left elbow, shot off the back of the rim by Bongertz. Russa and a hustle to the ball. Foul is going to be called on Anoka. Absolutely. When she is getting that ball, you're right, Chris, they are collapsing right on top of her with all these players.
I just feel like if she was down low, she'd do a lot more damage rather than up top. I understand screen and rolls and stuff like that, but I think she could do a lot more damage down low.
25-11 lead for the Tornadoes, the number 1 seed in the section, with 7 minutes, 55 seconds to go here. Opening half. Jada Olsen, the senior, trying to find someone open against this tough man-to-man defense of the Tornadoes. Over to Williams. She's a good shot, good athlete, quick off the step. Whistle there. A hold is going to be whistled on Anoka. That'll probably go to Faith Lundquist. Zwack that time was off the dribble for Duluth East, and she was fouled. Zwack will now inbound it for Duluth East to Williams. Also in number 10 is Elizabeth Torgerson. She's guarding Williams. Zwack back to Olsen. Olsen tries to give it on a give and go back. Nice play, good execution, and they draw another foul against Anoka.
Yeah, absolutely, that was good execution. Libby Johnson will go back to the line. She missed her first 2 free throws. Getting another chance here, but she's been a nice little bright spot. I know they only have 11 points, but she's been okay inside so far for the Greyhounds.
She missed her first 2 free throw attempts. She'll get her 3rd attempt here. Puts that one in. Checking back in for Duluth East is Annie Rykoff. Junior guard, as you mentioned, Chris. They start with 3 guards and 2 forwards. Second free throw attempt here is off the front of the rim in the backboard. Hold down by Bongertz. Read into defense, looking like they may be in some sort of a trap situation. Torgerson surveys, now attacks. Torgerson, and now to Josephson. Off the pass from Bongertz. That's a strong move inside. She exploded by the defenders, split the defense, and puts another deuce on the board. Fakes one way, back the other way. Rykoff off the glass. Nice spacing to get that shot off. She was tightly contested that time by Torgerson. Torgerson brings it back up. She looks to counter. Off the glass, and that's good. A running layup from about 10 feet out, and she converts. She was almost trying to top the offensive play last time down by Rykoff.
That's what it looked like to me, Joe. And I mean, sometimes you're just feeling it.
Inside, back again, high bank shot off the front of the rim. Rebound is Torgerson. Ahead to Slater. Slater up off the glass. Good assist.
Great vision.
Mark that for Torgerson. That's her third assist already this first half.
Nice job. Absolutely. Torgerson is playing a great game so far offensively. What vision. I mean, there's almost a full court pass there.
Touche to that. A great view of that court. On the wing, back over, now driving to the lane, to the free throw. Pass goes to Williams. He'll set up there. Hand it off to the senior. Senior guard now back to Rykoff. Rykoff closely guarded again by Torgerson. She's trying to shake her, cannot. They keep trying to run a weave and trying to find a post down. Now off an errant pass ahead to Torgerson, and bam, they convert back and forth. Torgerson on a beautiful pass to Slater for the layup. This time it was just the other way. Slater on the turnover, long lead pass to Torgerson, and she converts. 19-point lead now for Anoka. Good dribbling skills there off to Olsen. Olsen three-point attempt off the back of the rim, and rebound goes to Bongartz. Ahead to Torgerson. No mercy here. Torgerson wants to close the deal and pass it up, and meanwhile, as Slater tried to move to the baseline, she's whistled for the travel.
Almost a line change here for Anoka. 4:58 to go here in the first period. But as you say, Joe, no mercy. I mean, they're pushing the ball. They're looking to score if they get it. They're out and running and passing the ball up the floor. Really got to be happy if you're Coach Ansel right now.
You want to keep that rhythm and cadence you've had through the season. Get out early, and maybe you can rest them a good portion of that second half. Not that they need the rest. This team is very high energy, going to the lane hard and deflected out of bounds. That was Tykro, Aaron Tykro. Meanwhile, there's a timeout on the floor. 4:44 to go here. Opening half, it's Anoka with a 33-14 lead.
Yeah, and they're playing very well right now. The score really does say it all. It's really not even that close. They're getting whatever they want offensively, playing very solid on the defensive end too, and Anoka looking very much like that #1 seed right now.
Head coach Scott Ansel is getting the troops aligned, making sure everyone's on that same page. He wants to explode, I'm sure, for a big rush. Key component of every game is usually those last few minutes of the half. As Duluth East, I'm sure their goal, try to get this thing down to a manageable point. Inbounds pass scrambled for on the floor, picked up by Anoka. Now Smith brings it up court. On to give and go. Good idea, good thought. Smith decided to pull back up quickly after the lead pass by Zimmer misses. She was going to step back out, but good idea.
I like what Smith brings coming off the bench too. She's quick. She gets the ball up the floor real fast, and nice player.
Up at the high point. Now back inside the lane, dribble, drive, and a dish. Inside on the rotation. Deflected away, coming back is Smith. It's deflected out of her hand and picked up by Duluth East. Coming back the other way, this is Leiter. She dishes. Back to Leiter again. Looking for Marple in that corner where she hit the three-point already. Rykoff now this, and she'll dish it to Marple. Marple picks it up, back out again to Leiter. This three attempt all the way downtown, hits the back of the rim, no good. Rebound inside and puts it back up. Nice job by a 5'3" forward, finding the loose change, and Annie Rykoff capitalizes.
I don't know how the heck she got a hold of that, Joe. She came down with it somehow. And then the shot, too. I don't know how she put it in, but Rykoff finds a way. She's got 6.
Bongartz this time goes way out top, and they this time, make an adjustment with Phipps in at the free throw line in the middle, at the pivot spot. Rebound comes out, missed by Bongartz, and it's Phipps who picks it up, hustles, and she steps right on the out-of-bounds line. The turnover goes back to Duluth East. I like that change in offensive set that time by Anoka.
Yeah, a little bit different. They missed a bunny down there, kind of an easy one, but still with a 33-16 lead here with 3:12 to go.
They move Phipps Bongartz out wide or on top, and little bit more agile. Phipps bouncing around in that lane. Inside, give and go, down deep, and a foul going to be whistled this time on Anoka's number 5, Zimmer. Into the game also right now for Anoka is Cassandra Luck. 6'2" center, senior center.
Maggie Leiter gonna go to the line here. 2 shots.
5 fouls now for Duluth, 6 for Anoka. 1 away from that bonus. She hits the first of 2. Senior guard hits both, converts. It's now a 15-point lead for the Tornadoes. They're going to call her for carrying. She knew it.
Yep.
Had that cadence and feel to that dribble. Wholesale changes now coming back in as head coach Anthony says, you know what? Last 3 minutes of this half, let's put a press on and let's get some pressure going. Josephson, all starters come back in. Josephson, Slater, Torgerson, Bongarts, and Phipps. Back up. They ran that one probably way too many times, and now Anoka starting to sniff that out.
I like Coach Antel's idea here too, bringing back in the starters the last 3 minutes here. Keep that pressure on.
2-3 zone. Let's see if they put some other people through that lane. There's Bongarts using that left hand, getting into the lane, kicks it to a shot here from the side that hits the front of the rim off the mark. Shot was taken by Slater, just short. We've got another foul being whistled on Anoka, and I think we're going to get the 1-and-1 now.
They called that on Torgerson. Over the back, it looked like.
Williams comes back in for Duluth East. They need that scoring punch. Taking a seat will be Adara Zwack. At the line, number 42 is Marple. Misses on the front end of a 1-and-1. Rebound goes to Bongarts rather. Torgerson is going to set up. She wants to read and assess the defense, see if there's a trap coming. Long lead pass into the front court. Back now in the hands of Torgerson. She's reading the defense. Takes it to the lane. Now kicks it back out to Josephson. Rotates it over. Long shot and a good 3-point attempt. Converted from downtown that time was Phipps. Good rotation, and they capitalize. Back comes Duluth East. Another weave. 3-point attempt by Williams. She said, let me give that a shot. Is this horse competition? Because I got you covered. 36-21 now. Williams answers with her own 3. Torgerson again. I like her quarterback style, kind of assessing the defense, seeing if they're going to change it. Good pressure, and it's pickpocketed once again. And now a fast break opportunity and a block on the shot by Williams.
That was Phipps. I tell you what, Joe, she's really been doing it all. She comes up with steals, loose balls. She hit a 3-pointer just a minute ago for the Tornadoes. She's been great tonight. Great player for the Tornadoes.
Just a step back behind the free throw line by Bongarts. Missed follow-up by Torgerson. Can't connect. Aaron pass in the lane. Finally controlled by Duluth East as we're south of a minute to go here. First half. 36-21 lead for Anoka. Good pressure once again for Anoka. They lose their footing. That's Williams. And a foul is going to be called on Anoka. They've been trying to convert on that 1-3-1 half-court press and half-court pressure on Meigs, but they haven't had one of those for a while.
They have not. And I'll tell you what, Greyhounds, it's 36-21. They're hanging in there. Getting a couple frustrating Torgerson on the other end here, turnover. Maybe breaking the press a little bit. I don't know. They missed a free throw there, but I think they're playing a little bit better than how the game started.
That's their second consecutive miss on the front end of a 1-and-1 for the Hounds. Slater has it now. Baseline, feeds it inside the Bongarts. Power move, kicks it out to the wing. Shot, Torgerson, good from 3. Money ball for Torgerson. She loves that shot. And it's now a 39-21 lead for Anoka.
Got 14 already by my count, but St. Francis math, so you never know. But it's a heck of a first half.
Eluding the defense, getting around the wing. Dribbling out of danger now to Williams. She tries to hit Olsen into the lane. Back to Williams, cutting to the lane. She sends a shot off the glass. Nice scoop shot by Williams as time is out here as we end the first half. A 39-21 lead for the Tornadoes.
Yeah, that was a big shot there, too, for Williams to end it. I know 39-23 it only makes it. It's still a big lead for the Tornadoes. You got to be happy with that. But Duluth East, they're fighting, Joe. They're losing, but they're fighting right now, and they end on at least end on a good note.
They've got some stick-to-itiveness to them, and we'll see what's around the corner here for the second half. The #1 seed, Anoka, playing very well to start this game. A 39-23 lead over the Duluth Greyhounds. We'll see you for the second half action on this QCTV sports presentation.
There's a long shot there by Danager. Nice play by Krimble, earning the and one. Smith lost her dribble, gets it to a cutting Zimmer. Nice play, and Zimmer converts.
Goes for the steal, doesn't get it. Pass inside, nice move. Up and good, nice layup.
Slater comes up with it, tries to go up and under and hits.
Oh, that's working it around the world, Pete.
All the way around.
Hello and welcome to In the Game. I'm your host, Chris Carpenter. In the Game is a show that we do here at QCTV that focuses on high school and amateur sports that we have going on in and around our 4 cities of Andover, Anoka, Champlin, and Ramsey. It's winter here in Minnesota, and that means high school basketball season. And on today's show, we are going to focus on our girls' high school basketball teams. Let's start with the Andover Huskies. The Huskies are coming off of a season where they reached the state tournament, so expectations are pretty high this year. Let's take a look at the Andover girls basketball team.
It was an incredible season for us. We had a young team coming in. We didn't really know what to expect. We'd lost a lot of seniors. So we kind of took the approach that it was just going to be a journey where our job was to get better every week, and we're going to see how it ended up. And we kind of came together. We became a very good defensive team. We became an unselfish team, and so we had a nice run. It was just a lot of fun.
So coming off of a successful year, Coach Belschner is happy with where the team is at.
I think we're in a good spot right now. We had a lot of people back with experience. We lost some key people. We've kind of taken the same approach that our job is to get better every week, and our goal is to be peaking at the end of the season. So far I think we're on pace. We've had our ups, our downs. We're kind of still a work in progress, but I feel like we're making progress going forward. So,
Senior Gabby Garcia also talked about her experience going to the state tournament.
It was super fun and exciting, nerve-wracking. I was super nervous to just sitting in the locker room, waiting to play or watching other games. Super nervous, nerve-wracking. Team goal would be to work together so we can make it to that section championship and just play as a team together.
The Northwest Suburban Conference is once again tough, but Coach Belschner says that the team needs to stick to their game plan.
The Northwest Suburban is really good this year, and it has been the last couple years. So there's a number of teams that are ranked, and I would say every game we play, you're playing great teams, great competition. Our approach has always been, in our conference, there's a lot of talented teams, and so our goal has got to be to get better every day. Our goal has got to be the aggressor whenever we take the court. We have to be the better team, and what I mean by that is we have to play better defense. We have to share the basketball and work together. We have to do the little things well if we're going to be successful. And so our goal every day is just to get better, and it's to focus on those things, not so much the wins and losses right now.
The Anoka girls basketball team has had some success in the Northwest Suburban Conference early this year, and they're hoping to build on that for the rest of the season. Let's look at the Anoka Tornadoes girls basketball team.
I think the season's going well so far. We've had some ups and downs, but for the future, there's a lot of potential down low at our lower levels, and I see it every day, every practice, every game, and it's awesome to see. So I think in the future it'll be well.
I'd say the season's going decent to good. I mean, we've definitely had losses and down spots, but I think it's due to we haven't had a full team really. We had our big post out for a few weeks, and now we have our other captain out for a few. Like, it's just been off and on. But overall, I'd say it's really good because like we had the same team last year, just minus 2 seniors. So to be building from last year, it's worked really well.
I think the season's going very well. Not like as good as I would want it to, but it's going well for us. We've had a few tough losses that we definitely should have won, but besides those, we've given a good fight for a lot of teams. And the goal for this season, I really, really want to make to state this year. It's my senior year and I made it to state other years, so this is my main goal.
When I was a freshman and sophomore, we had this really big powerhouse group of seniors, and we graduated 9 of them actually when I was a sophomore, and after that we were really young. And we had a little bit of trouble trying to fill those big shoes, but I think we're getting there. We're kind of almost at that point now where we can do some of the things that they've done, like go to state and win the section title, which is my goal, or I think everybody's goal this year.
The more we play as a team, the better we do. And I think if we just continue doing that next year, it'll keep going.
When you hear about Champlin Park basketball, you usually hear about how good the boys' high school team is. But the girls' team is also very good. Here's a look at the Champlin Park girls' high school basketball team.
Basketball's awesome. My teammates, I like hanging out with them on and off the court, and I've really grown to they're all my family, so.
We're young this year, so I kind of feel like an older player. I'm one of the more experienced. I've been on varsity since my freshman year, and it's really fun to have a big role on the team.
It's amazing. The school atmosphere that we have here at Champlin Park is amazing. I've never seen it like this before. Our school is really into our sports, and that's exciting because it makes me excited about what I do. So it's a really cool thing to have.
Yeah, it's much more than basketball to me. I mean, I've been a part around these girls for the last 3 years. I've gotten to know them as students and as athletes. You know, they're student athletes, so I wanted to be great students inside the classroom. I also feel like, we're not here just for basketball. We're here to, help them become great women. So it's basketball, but it's also about life lessons. And, I have quite a few seniors who are going to be going on to play college basketball. We're preparing them for what comes after high school, and just kind of, how women want to be treated, how, it's kind of like life lessons. And
yeah, come cheer us on. We're fun to watch.
Definitely come and cheer us on. I mean, we like fans. I mean, we have a very, very big gym to fill up, and so it's nice to have fans that come and support us, and especially from the community. But yeah, always come to a game, home or away. Wear your Rebel blue.
I can print it off at home and run somewhere else so that they have a nice.
Well, that's it for this edition of In the Game. If you want more In the Game or want more information regarding our sports schedules, or if you want to check out any of our sports or government programming, go to our website, www.qctv.org. Well, that's it. Thanks for watching. I'm Chris Carpenter, and we'll see you next time in the game.
Welcome back to the Anoka High School for the 7A quarterfinal action play as the #1 seed Anoka just playing this game by script so far with a big lead right now over Duluth East, Chris.
Yeah, but Anoka came out gangbusters, I'll tell you that. Led by Naomi Torgerson right there. She's got 14 points, the high scorer so far, and she's been incredible. And there you have Duluth East. You know what? They got some turnovers there as well, and they play better down the stretch. They started out very slow, but they bounced back a little bit, and now we're sitting here. It's 39-23 at the half.
I think Coach Scott Ansel also happy with where they're at, but I think he'd like to clean up a few things. Turnovers-wise, Anoka had 13. And meanwhile, Duluth East, the dubious honor of leading both teams in that category with 14 after half. So that's an area to clean up. 6 of 7 from the free throw line for Anoka. That's great. And Duluth East unable to convert on some of their free throws. In fact, they're 5 for 10. That includes 2 front ends of the 1-and-1 that they've missed thus far. So some things to clean up for this Anoka team. And meanwhile, they got the second half ahead of them to try to iron this out and take this win.
Yeah, there you go. Showing the leading scores there. Torgerson with 14. Rykoff for Duluth East, and she had a tough time there in the first first half. A lot of turnovers early on, but she played well down the stretch too, as did kind of the Greyhounds started playing better towards the end of the half. So I expect them hopefully to come out here and make it a little bit more of a game. But if you're Anoka, if you're Coach Ansel, you keep on the defensive pressure.
Legs feed the wolves. Legs feed the wolves, right?
That's right.
Keep them running, keep that edge, keep at it, and let's close this thing up. The winner of this game will go on to play Friday night in North Branch. Long lead pass, and wow, what a tempo set already to start the second half. Capitalizing at the ATM off the bank is Phipps for 2.
Yeah, she's got 9 on the night, and Joe, I said there in the first half, she's kind of like that lunch pail player. She just comes and works hard and does it again with another steal.
From the right elbow, off the turnover and pass, is missed there by Duluth East. Rebound by Bongarts, and she says, I'll just dribble it all the way up, and then almost an errant pass.
And that's what we were talking about. You got to cut down the turnovers. That was just a silly pass there by Bongarts.
Once you get to play some of those competitive teams, those jump those and convert them to turnovers.
And this is the time to start cleaning that up here. And start right now if you're the Tornadoes. 13 turnovers in the first half. That's not really acceptable.
2-3 zone back for Duluth East. Long shot, misses everything that time by Slater. Ball pulled down by Williams. Duluth East starts it up. That's Olsen over to Williams at the left wing. She'll take a long 3 off the front of the rim. Over the back will be whistled that time on Torgerson as the shorter player, but with the better position. Rykoff boxing her out from Duluth East.
Yeah, nice job by Rykoff there, and just kind of a dumb foul there by Torgerson. She's got a couple now.
They go back to a man-to-man defense. Anoka off that inbound pass and out of bounds off of Anoka. Back to Duluth East. Just underway second period. This QCTV presentation. Joe Rulin joined by Chris Carpenter. Shout out and glad everyone could join us, and thanks to the crew in the van. Williams tries to dribble away from the defense. Now pulls back, crossover. Takes it down, and another quick foul on Anoka. That's by Josephson. 2 quick fouls here in the second half. Still an 18-point lead for Anoka, but trying to establish that cadence for the next game. Called for good defensive play and a travel. Whistle against Duluth East there. Phipps forced that travel.
Yeah, Phipps has been outstanding tonight. And that was defensive pressure there by her. Them forced the travel violation, and I mean, she's been someone they can lean on tonight. She's been solid.
No pressure brought by Duluth East as Anoka brings it up court. There's a point where you got to think, Chris, here that you got to put some pressure on to try to change that tempo. Even though we're just started the second half, it is an 18-point lead for Anoka. Slater cross court over to Josephson, far wing. Now to the near wing. A dribble pass, good save by Slater. Back inside, tries to hit Phipps. Phipps is tangled up, but deflects back to Slater. She'll dribble out of the corner and reset.
Anoka needs to slow down a little bit here.
High-low pass back inside, and Phipps couldn't convert after the pass from Bongarts. Rebound comes back to Slater. Slater back to Torgerson. She'll set the offense. Drives to the lane, kicks it out to Phipps. This time she misses everything. Off the body of the defender by Olsen, picked up by Olsen. She'll bring it up court, 15:50 to go. Here in the second half, in pass inside. Lost it in the lane that time and brought back by Anoka. Tornadoes. It's Torgerson, she'll bring it up. Dish it off to the wing. Slater looks for the shot, now passes back to Torgerson on the rotation. Puts it up for 3 and off the front of the rim. Slater with one hand wrestles off the defender, picks up the loose change, and deposits the basket.
Nice job by Slater. We said pregame too what kind of player she is. She rebounds the heck out of the basketball, and she did it just perfect right there.
Good play by Bongards. You usually don't see this transfer, but a good pressure by Bongards that time. It was the point guard bringing the ball out low, and Bongards, the tall center, pickpocketed it from her. Usually it's just the other side. The taller player brings it down, and the smaller player steals it. Good play by Bongards, good agility. Although the possession will go back to Duluth East. They inbounded here to Maple. Maple back to Williams. Williams will tee one up from 3, miss everything. That air ball is captured by Phipps. Phipps holds up, dishes it back to Torgerson. Torgerson takes a deep breath, now hits Bongards down deep, and one! Converted by Bongards.
Nice finish by Bongards, but the play once again set up by Naomi Torgerson. Another great pass finds Bongards down there and able to get her pretty easy bucket and back to the line here.
It's almost like a running back in football having patience, and she converts the N1 as Bongards. After this assist by Torgerson, they open up a 23-point lead. That is the Tornadoes with 14:50 to go. Long lead pass, ill-advised, picked up. And it's back the other way by Anoka. Josephson almost takes an extra step. Now brings it in. Where it's pickpocketed there. Poke checked away that time, almost a hockey move on the defensive side, and they kick it down low. Phipps can't capitalize, deflected out of bounds by Duluth East. It will be Anoka ball. I was going to say, it looks like sometimes a running back waiting for that hole to develop, having some poise.
Yep.
And Phipps got the rebound, kicked it back to Torgerson. Torgerson started it up, let that wave get underneath in the front, and long lead pass to Bongards for that 3-point play.
Yeah, she's a smart player and has really good court awareness. You can just see it out there. You can tell she's a very talented guard.
Slater forced all the way to her backcourt to retrieve that pass. Now high as the Bongards. Back to Torgerson on the give and go back to Torgerson to the lane. She shuffles a layup up, missed rebound, gets her own rebound and in.
16 now on the day for Torgerson. Gets her own rebound and putback. And Anoka pouring it on here really in the second half.
Impressive 14-point performance in the first half for Torgerson. Combine that with several very nice dishes. Loose ball picked up by Phipps, and now an errant pass to the lane taken back by Williams. We have a whistle and a foul. That's whistled against the Tornadoes with 13:47 to go.
I don't know if that was a foul, really, but it was definitely called. And both teams, I mean, we kind of expect from Duluth East the way they turn it over, but Anoka, they need to slow it down here. They're really, they got a big lead. Just everybody calm down and just play hard.
Was a tough call, and in fact they did it. No call there, a tangle up.
Jump ball.
Jump ball possession goes to Anoka. See if they can add to this 25-point lead, Chris.
Yeah, it's kind of getting away from the Greyhounds. They weren't really in it to begin with. They ended that first half well, but I mean, they haven't scored here in the second half.
Slater looks to pick up her dribble and hit Bongards inside. She does, and on top of it, they foul Bongards. The one thing I've noticed, they are disciplined. Some of the passes maybe cross-court or ill-advised for Anoka. Mm-hmm. But the starters and the shooters really do not take a shot out of flow. They look for the good shot, take the extra dribble, and right on cue, another errant, ill-advised pass, and picked up by Williams. Back to Williams. She'll take it to the lane. Drop it off to Marple. She'll take the shot off the rim. Rebound comes down to Bongards. Dished it out. Now to Josephson. She'll take it back to the top of the three-point circle. Reset the offense. Smith dribbles. Gets it inside the Bongards. Bongards to the baseline, looking there for a shot. Strong move by Josephson, and she closes the deal. Boy, that's an explosive step, maybe 2 steps, and she's there.
Yeah, the Euro step almost, right, Joe? And yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Work the ball around, take some time off the clock, play basketball. Anoka does that there. She's got 8 points now as well.
Dish inside, but that's not going to be a legit pass because it's whistled before the pass and a foul. Once again, blocking will be the call on Anoka.
Anoka fouled Brittany Bongards.
Or Bongards that foul. That is her second.
Number 5, Michaela Zimmer.
Slater will take the bench for a while as Will Phipps. Pass inside, now dishing it back out. They've got the shorter player down in the post, really kind of using it as a passing position more than a post player. Double dribble whistled on to Duluth East, and Anoka will bring it back up court.
Yeah, that was on Jada Olson there. I mean, that double dribble, unforced error. That's kind of been the story of the second half here for the Greyhounds.
Up high, now going back down low to the baseline. Nice kiss off the glass that time and put away by number 30, Faith Lundquist. Nice dish by Bongards.
Great pass, and she took it hard inside too. A nice, kept under control, put it up with the right hand for the bucket. Nice job.
A good high-low exchange. Here you get a look here, looking for the gap. Found that spacing. Better yet, she's able to close it up in traffic.
Bongards, they have 52 points. Bongards only has 6 points on the night, but I've been impressed with, for a center, she's pretty darn good at handling the ball. She sees the court kind of like almost a guard would as well, and she's able to make passes. So she's been impressive tonight as well, even if she's not, putting a lot of points on the board.
Certainly adjusted, as you mentioned earlier in the game. They would kind of collapse 4 players on her, so she's come up a little higher beyond the elbow to get possession of the ball, holding it up high, and then firing some passes. So
yeah, and you were talking to Coach Antle before the game. We ran that interview. He said they put in a whole new offense this year, and maybe that was one of the different things that they wanted to try, because you'd think with a gal at that kind of height, she's a big player. She could be down low and be kind of dominating down there. Maybe this is something that other teams, how are they going to defend this now? Because she does have those abilities. Dribble a little bit. She can pass as well. She can score down low, and she likes taking shots from up there too. So maybe that's how they change their offense this year.
Anoka continues to play at this level. They will be playing on Friday in the semifinal game. So correction, Saturday, I guess. Down the lane, turnover, and again, I love how quickly and how hard they close to that rim with conviction. That time was knocked off the leg that time of Lundquist.
It's a nice job there by Ashley Williams. Stripped the ball, and she's a solid player tonight too. I mean, nobody's having a really good game for the Greyhounds, but she's been good.
Trying to settle them down. Here's Williams, cross court, now to Olson. Looks to take the three, now wing it around to Marple. Marple on the pass to Williams in the lane, navigates her way through the defense and puts it off the glass for 2.
Williams now has 7, and I know they scored there, but I do like the defensive looks that Coach Antle, they're back in a zone there as Anoka turns it over again, but they're playing man-to-man, full court zone, dropping back into a 2-3er box. He's really mixing it up.
Well, that's been a good strategy for Coach Antle. Here's an errant pass, block, picked up, loose change, pick up, capitalized, Bongards. Off the glass, and great defensive stance there, and she's rewarded for that. They move her up a little higher in the 1-3-1. Now Duluth East out to the wing. Olsen will get around the defense, pulls up, pops, shot, misses. Rebound, Bongards back the other way, Smith. Back to Bongards. Bongards takes a step inside the three-point line, can't get away with that Euro step, and she's called for the travel.
It's her 3rd traveling tonight, been called on her. And like I said, she likes to move the ball a little bit, dribble, and that's what happens sometimes when you're the center trying to dribble. So
she's feeling herself in that zone and want to do a little bit more with it. 54-25 lead. That's a 29-point lead here for the Tornadoes. Quarterfinal action here tonight from Anoka High School, rather. Inside, good move, blocked away. Denied. She said, not in my territory.
Yeah, and you said Bongards is the type of player kind of needs to heat up a little bit, and I think she's doing just that, Joe. That made that great steal. It was kind of like a block here on the other end and went in for the layup, and there she is with another block. As she's coming out of the game, though, now, but she's heating up a little bit on defense.
I think so. Tight roll there was turned away and on that shot. Inbound. Back out to the wing. Olsen has it there. Has to dribble around the defense. Kicks it back to Williams. Williams now back to Olsen. Williams trying to find some spacing inside. Finally does. Almost looked like the ball was flat the way it settled on that rim, and finally the rebound comes back to Anoka. 10 minutes left here in the second half. It's a 54-25 lead for the Tornadoes, the #1 seed. Down deep, finds a cutting player, and that's blocked. Picked up by Torgerson. Kicks it back out to Slater. Slater will reset. They'll try another high-low opportunity there. Knocked out of Bongart's hands. Picked up by Olsen. Goes up for the shot, and a foul has been whistled on number 5, Michaela Zimmer.
Yeah, take a look at the foul there. Yeah, definitely got her on the arm there. And Anoka, again, they're playing like it's like they're not up by 25 points. You know, just slow it down a little bit, and you guys will be fine. A lot of turnovers tonight by both teams, but it surprised me that Anoka would turn it over this much.
Misses the first and makes the second. First free throws of the second half there for Duluth East, the team coming into this game with just 3 wins on the season. Anoka to the lane. That's Torgerson. Kicks it back out. Rotating it around again. Now back into the hands of the senior Torgerson. She tries to kick out a pass, and I think Lundqvist was cutting to the rim for the rebound. Just
a miscommunication there. Another one for the Tornadoes, and turnovers piling up for Anoka. Gonna have to clean that up before next game.
Cutting pass. Here comes Williams. She'll take it all the way and close the deal for the Greyhounds. She faked the pass and took it hard to the rim.
Williams with 9 points now, and you know she's an athletic player. She's been good so far for a tough night for the Greyhounds.
Inside shot is blocked, but a foul. That's a Shockneck who will go to the line for Anoka. The one thing I noticed with Williams, she understands the spacing part of that game.
Yeah.
She is kind of directing the other players to kick out, get more spacing, and she capitalized there. Shooting 2 is the 6'1" sophomore center, Lily Shockneck. Misses the first. Checking back in now for Anoka will be Phipps and Josephson. And back in is Marpley for Duluth East.
I like Phipps as a player. She comes in and she just, wherever the ball is, she's there some way, somehow. She's making a play.
She can bring it up the court. She can hit the shots on the wing, take care of some of that dirty work inside. A real trusted teammate. Deflected now back over to Duluth East. To Williams. Williams trying to take advantage of some of that spacing. Passes it inside. Good dish and good finish for Duluth East. 3 good passes. In hockey, they'd call that tic-tac-toe, and that time Duluth East capitalizes with 8:37 to go. Here in the second half, it is a 55-30 lead for the Tornadoes.
Yeah, it was a nice play by Tykro. Looked like maybe she might have got away with a walk there, but nonetheless, bucket goes in, and she now has 6 points on the night.
They're forcing Torgerson to her left, and Williams jumps that pass. Good pressure off of Josephson. Duluth East will take over.
That was just an easy, I mean, that was a bad turnover, honestly. I mean, that's a play that you can't make in some of these games coming up here down the stretch.
Inside ball taken, ripped away by Phipps. And I think they're going to call Phipps for the foul. Looked like a strong defensive play there, but holding the ball high was Erin Tykro. She came into this game averaging almost 9 points a game for this Duluth East team. That looked like a legit steal, but they'll give it to Duluth East. Good defensive stance there, and Anoka back to the man-to-man. Williams tries to move the ball along, finally dishes it along the baseline to the lane. Kick out to Olsen. Olsen now will take it to the lane. Hard drive, throws it up literally, and finally a rebound brought down by Anoka. That ball wasn't a layup, it was literally a toss-up. She was going into the traffic, finds
Great
an open
pass.
underneath and cashes into Phipps. Good eyes, good view by Torgerson. That's assist number 6 for Torgerson. Foul called by Phipps. After that, made basket, and it'll be already the 7th foul on Anoka this half. 1-and-1's coming the way of Duluth East.
Yeah, it was a great pass. Phipps puts in the bucket, and the foul afterwards. She did kind of give a little bit of a hook there. Tried to put the hands up saying it wasn't me afterwards, but that was a foul, and Tykra will go to the line.
He says, I was just adjusting my trunks and my elbows got in the way.
Yeah.
1-and-1, and they convert on that first. Something they couldn't do in the second half was the first half was convert on the front end of the 1-and-1s. Tykra at the line. Off the front of the rim, rebound. Slater to Torgerson. Torgerson with those jets takes it all the way to the lane and draws the foul.
Yeah, Torgerson pushing it up. I mean, 57-31 with 7.5 here to go. And Anoka, they're putting the foot on the gas anyway. They're coming right up the floor. And Torgerson, who's been fantastic tonight, I'll go back to the line.
I enjoyed how she took ownership of that possession. Saw the clomp in the middle. Misses on the first end of 2 free throws, but she went in there knowing she was going to probably draw a foul, but she at least wanted to get points out of that possession.
Yeah, explosive off the dribble, can blow by her defender, and she did just that. Seems like I always got a smile on the face, too. Who's that old baseball player? Was that Joe Randa, I think it was? Who always had a smile on his face, it seemed like, just the way kind of he looked.
I think he led the league in hit by pitches. I'm kidding. As trap comes up, they attack right at center court. Williams controls. Long lead pass, a lot of cross-court passes. Rarely are those successful. Even if you don't catch them, they can go out of bounds, and in the slot, they hit one on a quick pop and drop. Stop and pop shot there, connected by Duluth East. Torgerson sets up and surveys. Assesses the defense, looking for that trap. Finally kicks it back out to Slater. Slater inside the Bongards. Bongards dishes to Torgerson. She kicks it to Josephson. On the right wing, timeout is called by Coach Antle with 6:48 to go here in the second half. I think it's pretty much in command for Anoka at this point, that 25-point lead.
Yeah, I agree, Joe, and I think it's a good time for a timeout as well. If I'm the coach right now, I'm going to say, guys, let's just dial it back a little bit here. Let's walk it up. Let's good ball reversal. Limit the turnovers, please. And, you know, on defense, too, been a lot of fouls this game, too, for Anoka. It seems, I mean, 6.5 here, or 6:48 to go here in the second half, and they're already in the 1-and-1. So clean it up a little bit, slow it down, everybody take a breath, and let's finish this game strong.
I'm sure he's thinking, let's work that offense. Work out rotations. Let's work on some of those areas of where maybe defensively we're gonna need to play really well in some of those critical games coming down the turnpike here when it's close. So I think he wants to polish that up and then probably turn it over to the reserves here in a couple of minutes.
Absolutely, that's kind of that would be the plan, I would think. So be interesting to see what they come out with, though. Going with full court pressure and, you know, sometimes man-to-man. And if you're Duluth East, if you want to make a game of it, you better start pushing and playing some full court D yourself.
I was just going to say the same thing, Chris. There's no point in not any full court pressure trapping at this point. You're down by 25 with 6:40 to go. Anoka controls, rotates it around. Bongards kicks it back out to the near wing to Smith. Slater looks for the 3, then says no. Back to Bongards, kicks it out to Slater. She looks inside, gets a pass to Josephson, tries to go inside.
Wow.
Blocked and controlled by Duluth East.
Surprised there wasn't a foul called on that one. Looked like she was hacked pretty good.
Olsen out to the wing. That's Leiter. Long lead pass, and that thing caught a jet stream and continued its way out of the gymnasium.
Yeah, that one was a little misconnection there.
Anoka, 6 minutes left. Smith brings it up. Slater wants to go to town. She stops, dishes back off. Good job Good eyes and a good setup by Slater as she pulled back, then found the cutting Bongarts, and she closed the deal for 2. It's just like ending a sentence with an exclamation point or a good period, a good sentence. There inside, there's Williams. She's pestered, but she still muscles it up. Leading scorer tonight for Duluth East.
She's up to 11 for the Greyhounds. Like I say, she's been playing good all night.
Junior coming back next year. Cross court to the other wing. Now down low. Good left hand there by Phipps, but misses everything. Rebound to Williams. 5 minutes left, and you're right, they've got to go full throttle here defensively. That is Duluth East down by 15, or 25 rather, with 5 minutes left. Rotated around the wing, now finally back to Jada Olsen in the near wing. She'll go down below, kick it back out to Olsen. She'll pop and hit the shot from the free throw line, misses back of the rim, rebound comes down Anoka.
There's Phipps again with the rebound. She's been everywhere. Whenever the ball is available to get to, there she is.
Back alongside on the far wing. Now to the near wing, taking it to the lane, kicking it out to Josephson. She'll pop for the jumper and miss. Williams dribbles across the midcourt line. Duluth East rotates it. Appears to be content with this pace. Three-point shot. Rims out. Rebound back to Duluth East. Marble takes that shot. It's blocked. She gets her own rebound. Another shot attempt blocked once again by Anoka.
Nice job by the Tornadoes here. 4 minutes to go, and they're still playing strong D.
Strong to the lane. Slater dishes it out. Shot for 3, no good. That was by Phipps. Rebound again for Williams. Long lead pass. Here's a fast break. Another errant pass. Well behind the player leading, and that had about a 1% success rate, even if she would have hauled that pass in, but was well beyond her reach.
That's been the story all night, Joe. Turnovers, both teams, but specifically, when you don't have that firepower that Anoka does, if you're the Greyhounds, you just can't turn the ball over like that.
The only starter now left in the game is Torgerson, and she's inbounding it. Everyone else of the 4 of the 5 starters has retired for the evening, I'm sure, with 3:40 to go. Keep them for Saturday's semifinal matchup. Inside, nice dish, back out again. Rotating around, Torgerson for 3, downtown, and nothing but net.
Yeah, Torgerson up to 19 points on the night now.
Williams will try to counter. Off the rim a couple of times. Rebound back to Duluth East. That's stripped. Good play by Torgerson. Loose ball by Smith. Now she loses it. Duluth East regains, and we've got a foul on Anoka. That'll put Duluth East at the free throw line for a 1-on-1. The 1-and-1 comes with 3:10 to go.
Faith Lundquist called with the push, apparently, and
it's 3:10 to go here in the second half. And now coming into the game for the first time tonight, Ann Micklin. Taking a seat will be Emily Smith. Micklin is a 5'6" senior, getting some playing time here in the quarterfinals.
That's a good thing to see. I mean, anytime you can get some playoff action, you know, kind of empty the bench, that's a good thing. And, you know, fortunately, the Tornadoes, it seems like, with 3 minutes to go here, in that position.
Rebound off that off that free throw, pulled down. That's by Zimmer. Torgerson dishes it out. Zimmer goes hard to the lane, gets the shot off. Rebound kicked out to Torgerson. She'll tee up another 3, and that's just off the front of the rim. Rebound pulled in by Duluth East, not before a whistle. And it'll send Duluth East back to the free throw line. Apparently foul on Anoka.
To the line yet again, and I'm just thinking, Joe, the game, it was kind of out of reach, let's face it, even to start the second half here, but it surprises me that Coach Harris for the Greyhounds didn't even once try to put any full court pressure.
Not at all. They showed very little interest in contending from beginning to start. It's been all as we had advertised probably would be, but rarely are games so Captain Obvious as this, but it was from start to finish dominated by Anoka. Maddie Nelson also in. She'll bring it up. Errant pass picked up by Williams. She has an errant pass there. Turnover of Duluth East. 2:43 to go. 25-point lead here in the second half for the Tornadoes. Nelson lofts it ahead to Zimmer. Back to Nelson. She'll set up there. 5'2" junior. Kicks it over there to Micklin. Now to Youngquist. And back again to Nelson. To Zimmer on the give and go. Tries to hit a cutting Micklin. They'll reset. Back to Zimmer. 4-3 downtown off the rim. No good. Rebound comes. Back to Anoka and they cash it in. Nice positioning there. She hardly had to leave the floor. Good position. Lundquist for another 2.
Yeah, nice job at Lundquist. Perfect spot, the right time, and puts it up with the right hand for the bucket.
On the baseline, Williams now takes it to the lane, kicks it back out to Olsen. She fakes the shot, takes a dribble, puts up the shot, hits the side of the backboard, and that rebound is picked up by Johnson, who puts up another 2 points for Duluth East. As you mentioned, Chris, some great time to build some confidence for some of these reserves. The junior Nelson now with the ball for Anoka. Give and go there, hard pass. Luck there, tried to give a quick give and go. The 6'2" senior had a lot of power on that pass.
Yeah, they got Maddie Nelson listed at 5'2", but I think they might be giving her a couple inches. She's not a very tall girl.
Williams reigns from 3. Raining down to 3 with 1 minute, 5 seconds left to go. Coach Scott Andel trying to get another 5 players in here before the end of the game. Inside they work to the lane. Luck puts it off the glass. Hits the back of the rim. No good. She takes it away off the rebound and puts it off the glass on the bank shot. And capitalizes on the offensive rebound. 51 seconds to go. Timeout is whistled. This will give Coach Andel a chance to get the rest of his reserves in. Great job of rewarding those players who get so much practice time, very little playing time.
No, I think it's a nice move. There's nothing like playing, even if it's, towards the end of the game, and they call it garbage time really, but getting into the playoff game, it means a lot. And good on Coach Andel for doing that.
Get you caught up on some of the players. I know it's Hulsnitz that's in. That's 1. Thank goodness for this whistle so we can get the names out there. Number 24, Jordan Schnelker. There's another in. Number 45, Nicole Brannon. And number 21, Allison Youngquist is in. There's a free throw attempt and put down by Williams. Far and away the best player tonight for Duluth East.
Yeah, and as you say, only a junior as she hits a second, up to 17 points now. Kind of a nice player coming back as a senior next year.
Copyright Sade. She is a smooth operator. So back, pass, and now ahead. They're going to call the travel. You saw the feet and the rotation by Hulsnitz. When she caught it, she rotated her legs, and that was an easy call for the travel. 67-45 lead, and back to Williams. She looks for the 3, now dishes. Long 3 from way downtown, off the rim. Rebound comes down to number 22, Hulsnitz. She's with it again, down on the baseline. Now inside, nice turn, fire, and getting a shot at the free throw line will be the sophomore, number 21, Allison Youngquist. Good entry pass in that time by number 45, Nicole Brennan. Quick dribble and turn, and let's see if she can convert these. Duluth East has been on a run. A run, I shall say, minimal run, because they're trying to cut it to 22 below 20 points here before the game ends. 17 seconds left. She misses on the first. Youngquist gets a chance and converts on the second. Pushing it up court is Olsen to Williams. She'll take it to the elbow. Turn, fire, back to Olsen. She loses control. Going for the loose ball is Anoka. They will probably hold on to it. Or they'll go for the long lead pass. Dish it. And no good off the short shot. They try to get some of their bench mates a chance to capitalize and get some prime time playing time in a sectional game, and unable to convert there at the end. But nonetheless, it is a 68-45 win for Anoka. Player of the game here is, no surprise, Torgerson.
Have to agree. She was fantastic tonight. Shot great. The vision, I mentioned it many times, the court vision by Torgerson was fantastic, and she lived up to the billing, scoring double digits, and the leader of that Anoka team really showed up tonight and really contributed to that win.
Last count I had was 6 assists for her, and she had some other great defensive gems as well, but she was definitely in a zone and definitely the player of the game. And well worth it. They get another case. They, like I said in the pregame, they have 4 players who can just come up and put up 14, 15 and a half effortlessly. So it's great to be able to have one of those 4. It's tough to cover those 4 or even 5. And Phipps is underneath doing some of that dirty work as well. So
yeah, that was another gal that she definitely impressed me tonight. Like I say, that lunch pail type player, and she was all over the court tonight.
Duluth East ends their season 3-24. Head coach Hakeem Harris will have some time to kind of recollect and figure out a game plan for next year. Plenty of returning people coming back players. Meanwhile, for Anoka, they're rewarded. The #1 seed wins convincingly. Now they advance to play Saturday at North Branch High School, 4 p.m. They're going to take on the winner of the Forest Lake St. Francis game. Score we have not been privy to just yet, but they sit well for that game as well. They've had a lot of success against those 2 teams.
Yeah, absolutely. I think going into the next game too, some of the things you're going to have to work on in practice, you got to limit those turnovers. I mean, Joe, I know they won big tonight, the Tornadoes, but there were a lot of turnovers, a lot of just kind of silly mistakes that need to be cleaned up if you want to continue to advance. I think they have the talent to do that. I think they're good enough to be able to maybe come out of this section. So if they clean that up and cut down on some of the fouls too, I think they have a good chance.
Absolutely. They certainly have the firepower to advance out of the sectional 2 state. Again, I think they've set a good tempo for this hockey team that plays tomorrow. The boys in the quarterfinals against Eden Prairie, but an impressive outing for this Anoka team. And they will take that momentum to Saturday. And from there, hopefully a chance to play in the finals and advance to the state. But Coach Scott has them running on all cylinders right now.
Yep, very good defensively, solid offensively as well. Play a lot of pressure, up-tempo team. Hopefully they continue that and maybe get to the state tournament as well.
The variances in defenses, I always say defenses win championships, and defense can create that offense. And I know that's been a focus for Coach Scott as well, is what can I do? How can we create that offense? How can we mix up the offenses and get them comfortable playing several different defenses before, throughout a game? So, hey, this has been a wonderful QCTV sports presentation. Great show tonight by the Anoka Tornado girls, the #1 seed in this section. They advance to the semifinals, and they'll play on Saturday at North Branch. A convincing 68-45 win tonight from Anoka. For QCTV, I'm Joe Rulin, having the pleasure of being joined by C-Carp, Chris Carpenter, and thank you everyone for joining us in QCTV viewing land. Thank you to all the help around as well. Have yourself a Major League evening. Adam, Minor League Price.